Hello, folks. This is Tom Martin. This is my lottery strategy game, Decoding the Powerball guessing game. I'm picking my numbers for the drawing on March 15th, 2023. If you'd like to support my game, Decoding the Powerball, then please go to my Patreon page at www.patreon.com/decoding the Powerball. Thank you, and please subscribe. Okay, so if you've never seen my videos before, the object of the game is for you to correctly eliminate groups of numbers. There are 69 white ball numbers in the Powerball lottery. Only 5 numbers can come up as winners, so that means 64 numbers can't come up at all. So for me, I think it should be easier to pick the numbers that won't be coming up than the 5 that actually do. Okay, and with this video, I invite you to grab some paper and play along. Okay, so what you're looking at here is what I call the game card. This is where I try to eliminate numbers and try to get it down to the 5 correct winning Powerball numbers. Okay, so you can see that I have 5 colors on my game card. It's red, orange, green, blue, and purple. And these represent the 5 correct winning Powerball numbers. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is go to the Powerball homepage and find out what were those 5 white winning numbers. And they were the 3, 10, 24, 46, and 63. The Powerball number was the 4, but right now I'm only concerned about these 5 white ball numbers. Okay, so if you want to play along, then grab some paper and draw out the game card, or just write out 69 numbers, okay? And this is how your game card should look, and then you could X out the numbers when you want to get rid of some numbers here. Okay, so again, I'll show you how my game works. So you can see that I have the 5 white winning numbers at the top of this list. Okay, and now I'm going to add colors to them like I did here in the past. Okay, and I'm going to get the colors off of the game card. Okay, so you can see that this game card is for March 13th. So I need to update it up to the 15th. Okay, but before I do, I need to get the colors first. Okay, so the 3 was green, the 10 was orange, the 24 was orange, the 46 was blue, and the 63 was green. So again, the 3 and the 63 were green, the 10 and the 24 were orange, and the 46 was blue. Okay, so 3 out of the 5 colors came up. Now this is 223 color code drawings I kept track of so far, and now a 3 color combination has now come up 107 times. Okay, so you can see a 3 color combination comes up the most. Okay, 107 to a 4 combination, 85. Then a 5 combination, where all 5 colors come up, has only come up 16 times out of 223 drawings. And the thing is here is that if a 3 color combination comes up the most, then that means 2 colors are not coming up. Okay, and that's what I want to focus on here. I want to try to correctly guess what color group will not be coming up and eliminate those numbers off of my game card. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of all these colors off of my game card and start from scratch. Okay, so my color code is right here. Here's the red numbers, then the orange, green, blue, and whatever's left over is purple. Okay, so basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to transfer these 15 numbers over to my game card as red numbers. Okay, so I'm going to start with the 3, the 10, the 24, 46, and 63. Next line down is the 11, the 20, 33, 43, 58. And the last line is the 26, 27, 43, which is already taken. So the 61 and the 69. So again, I'm going to make these red numbers, and now I'm going to count how many I have. So I got 5, 8, 10, 11, and 3 are 14. And the reason why there's 14 is because the 43 came up twice. Okay, so now moving on to the orange numbers. Here I'm going to transfer these 20 numbers over to the game card as orange numbers. Okay, so again, let's start with the 2, the 13, the 29. 58 is already taken and the 69 is taken. Next line down is the 10, which is taken, the 16, 18, 40, and 66. The next line down is the 2, which is taken, so the 9, the 28, 36, and the 53. And the last line is the 16, which is taken, the 28 is taken, so the 49, 51, and 55. So again, I'm going to make these orange. And now I'm going to count how many I have. So over here I got 5, 2 are 7, 3 are 10, 1's 11, and 3 are 14. So I'm going to leave this alone at 14 as well. Okay, so then I move on to the green area, and then the blue, and then whatever's left over is purple. But you can see I already did this game card, so I'm going to just copy and paste just to speed things up a little bit. Okay, so again, you can see that I had 14 red, 14 orange, turned out to be 14 green, 13 blue, and 14 purple numbers. Okay, so again, I want to try to eliminate the color group that will not be coming up. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is try to correctly guess what the majority of the 5 numbers will be. Will it be even numbers or odd numbers? Okay, so going back through the history of things, you can see that even numbers have been coming up a lot more than odd numbers. So I'm going to predict that this is going to be more odd numbers than even numbers. Okay, so I'm going to look at the color group that has the most even numbers and eliminate those numbers off of my game card, because I believe that there's only going to be the maximum of 2 even numbers coming up tonight. Okay, so let's take a look at the red. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 out of 14. That's not very good. Okay, so then it's orange. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 out of 14. That's even. Green, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 out of 14. That's not very good. Okay, and then the blue, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's barely over. Okay, and then purple, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 out of 14. Okay, so purple is purple's the one. Okay, so it has 8 out of 14 numbers that are even, so I'm going to go with that. So I'm going to block these numbers out. Okay, so when I block out numbers like this means I'm not even going to consider these numbers when I'm picking what I think will be the 5 white winning Powerball numbers. Okay, so again, I'm going to block these out. Now, if I made the correct pick and none of these purple numbers come up, then I just reduce the odds for myself by a little bit, giving myself, better odds to win some kind of prize in the Powerball lottery. Okay, so maybe you heard the saying, divide and conquer. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the next strategy where I hope to conquer it. Okay, so again, hopefully no purple numbers come up. So going on to the next strategy, it's called the individual numbers. Okay, so here's the 5 white winning Powerball numbers right here, the 3, 10, 24, 46, 63. And what I did here, I divided all 69 numbers into 7 different groups. Okay, so here's group number 1, holds the numbers of 1 through 9. This is the only group with 9 numbers, where these other 6 groups have 10 numbers each. Okay, for 69 numbers. Okay, so how this works is this big square right here. This is good for 5 drawings. And I broke it down into 5. I break everything down into either 3 or 5 just to give me a majority. And for here, I did this so it's just easier to count. Okay, so let me finish up this thing with the 3 here. I'm going to follow this line over till I find the 3. And now I'm going to mark this 3 green because this 3 is green. Okay, so this is how the color code works hand in hand with this. Alright, so I want to point your attention to the 20 numbers here. Okay, so you can see that there's these 3 red marks. Okay, and before these three red marks, you can see that a red mark hasn't come up in a while. Okay, so when I was doing my game here, I noticed this, and I was like right around here saying, okay, I don't see any red numbers. I think a red number is going to come up pretty soon. And then finally one did with the 23. And now a couple more have followed. Okay, so this is how I look at things. I look for a color that hasn't come up in a while. So with this numbers of 1 through 9, I see red, green, blue. I'm looking for orange and purple. Well, here's the orange. It's not too far away, so that's really not a big help. So with the 10 through 19 numbers, I see red, orange, green, blue, purple. I see all 5 colors. With the 20s, I see red, orange, blue, purple. I don't see any green. Here's one down here. Okay, so this is why I broke these into 5. Okay, these squares in the 5 drawings. So it's easier to count. I can say 5, 10, 15. You know, it's been actually 12 drawings since the green number came up. Okay, so let me take a look at the game card to see if there's any green numbers in the 20 numbers. Okay, so I got the 21, and that's it. Okay, so maybe this 21 will be coming up here. Okay, so let's move on. I'm going to just keep that in the back of my mind. Okay, so we're at the 30s. I got blue, green, red, orange, purple. They're all right here. Again, not a big help. And then here in the 40s, I got red, blue, green. I don't see any orange or purple. So here's the orange and purple. So the orange has been 5, 10, 15, 20, 22 drawings. So let's take a look at the 40s for orange. I got the 40 and the 49. Okay, so I'm going to keep the 21, 40, 49 kind of in the back of my mind here. Okay, so moving on. I got the 50s. Here's the red, orange, purple. I don't see any blue or green. Here's the blue. And finally, here's a green. So it's been 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. We're going on actually 31 drawings here. So let's take a look at the 50s. And I got the 54. That's green. Okay, so far I like the 21, the 40, 49, and the 54. Okay, so moving on with the 60s, I see red, green, orange, blue, and here's the purple. Again, not a huge help. Okay, so now the overall strategy is that there's 7 of these groups, and there's only 5 white winning Powerball numbers. So the strategy is try to correctly guess what group will not have the winning Powerball number to it, and eliminate those numbers off of my game card. Okay, so I've been taking a look at the numbers of 10 through 19, and let me just reduce this down so you can see the whole card. Okay, so what I look for is just numbers that have been really hot, and these numbers of 10 through 19, you can see that they have been just really hot for a long time. In fact, here's a square that has just 1 to it. But here's 4, 4, 4, 4, 5, another 4, another 5, and then we're finally up here to where it has 2. Okay, so I'm going to predict that this is going to slow down and become a little cold. And I'm going to say that there's going to be no winning Powerball numbers that I'm going to be putting here between 10 and 19. Okay, so I'm going to blow this back up. Okay, before I go, I just want to point out this last number here, this number 5. This tells me that all these numbers hit 5 out of the 7 groups. Okay, a 5 doesn't come up all that often, so I'm going to predict that it's going to be a 4 that comes up right here, that comes up the most. 4's easily come up the most. Okay, it hasn't come up in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 drawings. So I'm going to predict at least 3 of these groups will not have a winning Powerball number to it. And the one that sticks out to me the most, again, is this 10 through 19. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the game card, and I'm going to eliminate those numbers of 10 through 19 off of my game card. And hopefully those numbers do not come up. Okay, so again, if I made the correct pick so far, and no purple numbers come up from my color code, and no numbers of 10 through 19 come up from the individual numbers, then the 5 correct winning Powerball numbers still have to be left here on my game card as a highlighted number. Okay, so moving on, I'm going to go on to my next strategy to break things down and divide and conquer here. Okay, so this is called my group 4. I have group 4, group 6, group 8, and group 10. Okay, so I call this group 4 because I simply divided all 69 numbers into 4 different color groups. Okay, so I'll just give you a visual here. So again, the numbers were the 3, 10, both in the red area. So I'm going to put the 2 here, which represents those 3 and 10. And then the 24 was in blue, which is right here. Then the 46 was in orange, and the 63 was in green. So this hit all 4 color groups, and the majority of the numbers were over here to the right side. The left side, and I'm gonna keep this 4 red. If the majority of the numbers were over here to the right side, I would color this 4 green, just to let me know what side it came on. Okay, so I'm going to highlight this a light red because there was 2 red marks and a green mark. And this is why I only do 3 at a time here like this. So, you know, it's pretty quick where I'll be putting a color here to it. Okay, so you can see that this had 3 hits to it. So I'm going to color it dark red. And this had 2 hits to it where I color it a lighter red. Again, just to give me some separation. Okay, so sometimes there's blue marks where there's 2 zeros and a hit. I color this a light blue, and when there's all 3 zeros, I color it a dark blue. Again, just to give me some separation here. Okay, so over here, this tells me that there is no blue marks like this. And then over here, this happens a lot, a triple hit. You can see it happened 3 times. Okay, so I use this game, you know, like any way I can to give me an advantage, of course, you know. But I use the strengths of these things, okay? And the strength is that a triple hit comes up a lot more than a 000 or whatever, okay? So if I can correctly guess where that triple hit's going to be, then I'm going to look at that color group and say, okay, I think there's going to be a hit here in the blue, you know? And there was the 24. Okay, so here with group 6. Okay, so the big advantage here is that there's 6 color groups and there's only 5 white winning Powerball numbers. So I know that one of these groups cannot have a winning Powerball number to it. And over here you can see a bunch of 4s, 3s, 4s, 3s, okay? Hardly any 5s at all. So that means at least 4 of these color groups are coming up. And 2 of these color groups are having a 0 to it. Okay, so most of the time there's at least 2 of these groups to pick where the 0 is going to be. Okay, so moving on to group 8. Again, I know that 3 of these color groups cannot have a winning Powerball number to it. Okay, and if you look down through, you can see lots of 4s. So most of the time, you know, except for these last 2, of course, but most of the time, usually it's like a 50-50 guess. 4 of these are going to have a hit to it, and 4 color groups are going to have a miss to it. Okay, so again, that's pretty good odds, 50-50. Uh, okay, so moving on to my group 10, and you can notice that they're all even numbers. 4, 6, 8, 10. That way I can keep track of where the majority of numbers have gone. Has it gone to the left side or to the right side? Okay, so when I see something like this where it's all red, that means the Powerball numbers have been coming up here to the left side. So I'm going to look over here to the right side if I think that this next number is going to be a green number. Okay, so moving on, I have another Powerball, Powerball number 2. And I'm just going to update this one real quick. Okay, so again, the numbers were the 3, which is blue. And then it was the 10, which was in red. Then the 24 was in orange. And the 63 was in orange. And the 46 was in green. So again, I hit all 4 color groups. And the majority of the numbers are over here to the right side, so I'm going to keep this for green. Okay, so moving on to Powerball number 3. Okay, so I'm going to update this one as well. Okay, so the 3 was in blue. The 10 was in yellow. The 24 and 46 were in green. And the 63 was in red. I had no winning Powerball numbers in the orange, and I had no winning Powerball numbers in the purple. Okay, I hit 4 out of the 6 groups, and the majority of the numbers are over here to the right side, so I'm going to keep this for green. Okay, so this is why I have 3 groups, and this is why I keep track of every 3 drawings like this. Okay, so Powerball number 2, at least I have 1 number at the top, and then Powerball number 1, you can see I have no numbers at the top. Okay, so every drawing that goes on, at least I'm going to have something with 2 numbers at the top. This is the biggest advantage. Okay, because now I'm going to be putting colors to it. And now I get to use these tools over here of, hey, is there going to be any blue marks? That means at least 2 zeros. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 options where I think one of these is going to be a blue mark here. Okay, maybe even 2 like the last couple of drawings. And then over here I have a triple hit, which one is the only one where I have an opportunity for a triple hit. It's this yellow one. Okay, you can see a triple hit usually comes up. So it's probably a pretty good bet that this is going to have a hit. So one of these yellow numbers, I believe, will be coming up in this drawing tonight. Okay, so I was gonna stay here, but I'm gonna move on to this Powerball number 2 because this is what I look for right here. Okay, you can see that these red numbers have been just really hot compared to the other ones over here. You can see lots of zeros and no zeros over here. Okay, so it's been 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, and another 15 is 30. 31 drawings in a row where one of these red numbers have come up. Okay, so these red numbers, they're worth, they got 4, 8, 12, 16, 17, 18 numbers total. So that leaves 51 numbers divided up into blue, orange, and green. Okay, and with only 5 white winning Powerball numbers, how long can this stay on a hot streak? So I'm going to predict that this is going to have a 0 right here. And I'm going to get rid of all these red numbers off of my game card. Okay, so it's the 1, 2, 10, 11, 5, 6, 31, 32. So I'll get rid of the 1, 2, 5, 31, 32. And then I'll get rid of the 35, 36, 39, 40, 48, 49, and then the 52 to the 54, and that's 61. So I'll get rid of all those numbers, and hopefully those numbers do not come up, including that 54, which I mentioned in the beginning. Hopefully that stays kind of dormant here. Okay, so again, if I made the correct picks, then the 5 correct winning Powerball numbers still have to be left here on my game card as a highlighted number. Okay, so now that was this one was the only one that really stood out. But now I'm going to go to Powerball number 3, where I have the best advantage with 2 numbers at the top here. Okay, so looking at this, again, the last couple of drawings here have been to the green side, which is over here. You can see with all these green how hot this has been. And I'm thinking that this is going to be a red number here. So I believe with this drawing, I believe that the majority of the numbers will be over here to the left side. Okay, and I certainly kind of like this orange, so let's take a look at this. Okay, but again, the strategy is try to pick where that 0 is going to pop up. Okay, so I have 7. Actually, I only have 3 of these option cards, but I have an overview to it. Okay, so here in the yellow, you can see that this is 3-0, which means there was a hit in all 3 option cards with the yellow area. Okay, so here you can see a hit, number 1. That represents that 10 that came up. Okay, so here's another hit, and it was the 63. And then the third option card, I had 2 hits in it, the 46 and the 3. Okay, so it's been really hot. And now I'm thinking it's going to cool down a little bit. Okay, so let's take a look at those yellows again. Okay. Here I said the triple hit. This is the only one with a triple hit. So I'm going to leave this one alone. I don't like that one. Okay, for another triple hit, here's the yellow, orange, green, and red. So I got a bunch to choose from. I'm going to leave this one alone as well. Here, this looks like it's going to double up on the red. Okay, I really don't like any of these, so I'm moving on. This is why I gave myself a bunch of option cards here, so I could just cherry pick through these and pick the ones that I feel have the best chances of having a 0 come up. Okay, so looking at this, you can see that it's been wicked red. I'm thinking that this is going to be a green number, which I believe that the majority of the numbers will be over here on this side. And I kind of like this red to finally double up here with the blue marks. You see a bunch over here, 2 over here. This never had it, so I'm going to predict that it's going to be a 0 right here. So I'm going to mark it blue. Now I mark it blue because when I come back through and I update this, I can say, hey, I got this correct. None of these red numbers came up, or one of these came up and burned me. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of the 1, 11, 18, 30. So I'll get rid of the 30. And then I get rid of the 16, 21, 34. And then I get rid of the 38, 54, 65. So I'll get rid of the 38, 65. And then I get rid of the 39, 59. And I'll get rid of that 59. And again, hopefully those numbers do not come up. Okay, so moving on. Again, the first thing that stands out to me is in here in the red, all these hits right in a row. So, you know, if they were like truly in a row, I go from left to right, and then up, left to right, then up, left to right, okay? But when I see this in a row like this, you know, I just look at the other ones and you can see that, you know, this doesn't happen very often. So here I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And here I got 6. But this red has been just really hot. And I'm thinking it's time to cool down. But I'm going to move on. Okay, I have a 000 opportunity here. But a triple hit comes up a lot more. So I got the red for a triple hit and the green for a triple hit. And I'm kind of liking this red over here. Remember that 40? I like the 40 and the 49. Here's that 40's in the red. Okay, but I'm going to move on. Here's the overview. One thing about this red is I don't see any 03s. Certainly, maybe it's due to have a 03. I don't like it, so I'm going to leave it alone. Okay, so now I'm going to move on to what I call 3A, and this is a 10 group. Okay, so this is really good odds. I know that 5 of these color groups cannot come up, cannot have a winning Powerball number to it. Okay, so the reason for the different angles here, like here I got a group 4, and if I could get this correct, I'm going to knock out 18 numbers for this one. Usually it's 17. Okay, so when I move on to a group 6, like I did here, I get rid of 2, 4, 6. I get rid of 12 numbers. And then the group 8, I could get rid of up to 9 numbers. Okay, so here's 5 and 4 is 9, but you know, it's usually 8, between 8 and 9 numbers. And then finally this group 10, I can knock out up to 7 numbers. Okay, so different angles, you know, that's what I'm looking for. Hopefully I'll see something, but this is the best odds, of course, you know. It's only going to knock out 7 numbers, but I got really good odds of knocking out the 7 correct numbers that aren't going to come up. Okay, so let's take a look at this. Now again, I have 2 numbers at the top, and a 000 comes up a lot. You can see out of all these drawings, there's only been 2 zeros. So what do I have for an opportunity? I got the blue, orange, purple, and light blue. I usually look for the one that hasn't come up in a while, like this orange. Or sometimes these 000s double up, like here, here. Hasn't really doubled up on this side yet. Well, right here, I guess. I spoke too soon. But I'm thinking this blue. So you can start off the green side, this side, the right side got really hot. Then the left side got hot. Then it kind of went back and forth, then back to green. You can see this dark green hasn't happened in a while. That means all 3 numbers were green. And I'm thinking that that's going to happen here. Okay, I think that this will be a green number. Kind of looking at this light blue and the turquoise. Okay, but you can see a 2 hasn't come up in a while either. I'm thinking that this is going to be a 2, and I kind of like the blue and the orange. I like them both. And I'm going to go for them both. Okay, so I'll get rid of the 5, 7, 9, 15, 17, 35, 65. So I'll get rid of the 9. And hopefully that 9 does not come up. Okay, and then with the orange, 6, 8, 14, 16, 26, 42, 66. So I'll get rid of the 8, 26, and the 66. So I'll get rid of those 3 numbers, and hopefully those numbers do not come up. Okay, so moving on. What do I have for a 000 opportunity? I get the red, orange, green, turquoise. Over here I see a bunch of green. This means the majority of the numbers have been coming up over here, so I'm thinking that this is going to be a red number. So I kind of like this red over here and this green to have a hit to it. There's that 49 in the red. I got rid of the 40 and the 49. Okay, so I kind of like this turquoise. So I'm going to get rid of the 2, 14, 23, 31, 61, 62, and the 54. I believe that's already gone anyways. So I'll get rid of the 23. And hopefully that number does not come up. Okay, so moving on. I have a feeling that this is going to be a red number. So So I'm thinking that this light blue is going to add the 000 to it. So I'll go with that. And I'll get rid of the 19, 35, 45, 55. So I'll get rid of the 55. And again, hopefully that number does not come up. There's also the 39, 49, 69. I'm pretty sure that all those numbers are gone. No, not the 69. And again, hopefully that number does not come up. Okay, so moving on. I got the overview where I'm going to look for, you can see all these 03s that are all close to the top, except for the purple and the pink. And actually the brown is even the worst. So I'm going to go with the brown. And I'm going to say that this is going to be flip-flopped. I think it's going to be 03. With the brown, I'm going to go with this one as well. 19, 27, 36, 45, 46, 54. So I'll get rid of the 27, 46. Okay. Go with this brown as well. 8, 16, 24 in the 18. Get rid of the 24. And then the 41, 50, 58. I'll get rid of the 58. Okay, so I'm getting down here, alright? Again, if I made all the correct picks and none of these blocked out numbers come up, then the 5 correct winning Powerball numbers have to be left here on my game card as a highlighted number. Okay, so moving on. Last brown right here. Come on. Hopefully it's going to be a miss. So I'll get rid of the 10, 18, 20, 36, 46, 56. So I'll get rid of the 20. And that's it. Okay, so moving on to Group 3B. Here's another 3 option cards with 10 color groups to it. Again, the first thing I look for is a 000 opportunity. I got 1, 2, 3. Okay, for some reason I really don't like this one. I'm going to move on. Kind of like this red to have a hit to it. 5, 15, 25, 34, 35, 45, 55. Do I have anything left? I don't. Hopefully it still stays on a cold streak. Okay, I'm thinking this yellow hasn't had a 000 in a little while. Go with that 60. I'll knock Mark out the 60. Hopefully that number does not come up. So here I got the orange and the pink. Don't really like these, so I'm just going to go right to the overview. Okay, 030303. This purple's a little low, but the rest of them are right there. I think I'll go with this purple. Okay, so I'll get rid of the 1 to the 27 and the 41 to the 59. And there's nothing there. Okay, here with this purple. 1929, actually the 91929. Get rid of the 29. Then the 3763, 5169. So I'll get rid of 3 numbers. And hopefully those 3 numbers do not come up. Okay, and the last one. 8, 14, 16, 32. And there's no numbers left. Okay, so I'm down to 5, 8, 9, 10, 11 numbers. I need to get down to 5. Okay, so I'm moving on to my 3C. Again, same thing, 3 option cards, 10 groups. What do I have for a 000? I got the red, purple, pink, and this red, the 000 is way down here, so I think I'll go for this. $35, $53, $65. Okay, there's nothing there, so moving on. Here I got the green, purple, yellow. Maybe it's time for this green to double up. $7, $15, $23, $35, $44, $55, $64. So I'll get rid of the 44 and the 64. Okay, moving on. We got the orange, green, turquoise. I think that this is going to be a red number, so I think the majority will be over here. The majority will be over here, so I'm looking at this turquoise. I think I'll go for this one. 5, 6, 7, 66 to the 69. Get rid of that 67. Okay, so I got 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I need to get rid of 3 numbers. Most likely one of these even numbers. Okay, so now I'm going to go to the overview. So 03, 03. There's a bunch that are. This red one is kind of leading the way though. I already have it here. Take another one right here. 413 2028 17 25 32. So the 4 and the 28. Okay, so I got one more number to get rid of here. I go with this red again. Okay, so I went through all of those, and now I'm gonna move on to another one here. I'll go to Powerball number 2, where I have at least one number at the top, and I'm gonna go right to my group 10, where I have the best advantage here. Okay, so again the 000 comes up the most. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 opportunities, I would say. The one that hasn't come up the most is this yellow. And I think I'll take it. Excuse me. Okay, so I'll get rid of that 33, which I already did. That will bring me down to 5 numbers. So I'm going to say that that 3 comes right back up. Go with the 21, the 22, the 43, and the 47. Now to pick out a Powerball number. Last drawing, the Powerball number was the 4. Okay, so looking at this, see a big streak here. Okay, so what do these mean? Okay, so there's 26 red ball numbers in the Powerball lottery. So over on this side, I just divided the numbers into 2. So if you see a blue number, that's low, 1 to 13. If you see a red number, that's high, 14 to 26. Over here, I just divided the numbers into odds and evens. So if you see a red number, that's odds. If you see a black number, that's evens. Okay, so you can see that I have a streak of even numbers here. 6 drawings in a row. I'm thinking that this is going to be a red number. Okay, so I think it's going to be odds. And then over here I see a bunch of low, high, then low again. I'm thinking that this is going to go high. So I think it's going to be a high odd number. And that would be the 15, 17, 19, 21, 23, and 25. Okay, so here's the 15, 23. Here's Here's the 17. Here's the 25, 19, 21. I believe that's all of them. The 21 is the oldest, and the 19's right there as well. So I'm gonna go with the 21. Okay, so I'm going to go with the 3, 21, 22, 43, 47, Powerball 21. Okay, so like Sherlock Holmes would say, it's a matter of deduction. So if these blocked out numbers don't come up, then these 5 highlighted numbers have to come up. Okay, so let's take a look at the odds. To get the grand prize, all 5 white ball numbers and the red ball, the odds of winning the grand prize are 1 in 292 million. My game is geared up for the white ball numbers, and just to get the white ball numbers correct, the odds are 1 in 11,688,000. Okay, so in other words, you can make nearly 12 million 5-number combinations out of 69 numbers. Okay, so I don't want to give any kind of illusions that this is going to be easy to win. So another great prize to win would be 4 white ball numbers and a red ball. That pays 50,000 plus the power play if you play it. And you can see that the odds are just about 1 in a million. Okay, so going over our budget, if I spend $3 per drawing, there's 3 drawings per week. There's 52 weeks in a year. If I were to play every drawing in the year, I would spend $468 on my game Decoding the Powerball. Okay, so in closing, I'd just like to thank you for watching. Again, you can support my game through my Patreon page at patreon.com/Decoding the Powerball. And if you'd like to give me any feedback, then please email me at decodingpowerball@gmail.com. Again, there's no "the" in there, so it's just decodingpowerball@gmail.com. And as always, with $63 million on the line, I want to wish you the best of luck with your picks.